Welcome to another episode of the Boss Experience podcast. My name is Michele Davis, and I'm your host. And I'm super excited to be here for another season and another episode to discuss, the showing up in your business confidently. That's what this season is all about. And I decided to have this theme for this season because it's something that we all struggle with at all stages in our business. You think it's just for new entrepreneurs to feel less confident, and that's just not true. And it's funny because as you've heard from some of the guests I've had this season, and even in previous seasons, we talk about just the struggles we feel. Even as after we've been around for a while, we have that self doubt. We question ourselves. So, not having confidence is really not about the fact that it happens. It's about how you handle it, how you overcome it. And so, in this season, the one thing that I want you to do, and I want to empower you to do, is to overcome those confidence issues. And the only way to do that is to be able to admit what's behind your confidence issues. Practice what I'm sharing with you throughout this season. Practice what you've heard from my special guests throughout the season. And that is how you overcome. So we all feel fear. We all feel what are we doing here? We all feel that imposter syndrome. But how you show up and how you get over those things is all about, what you do in response to those feelings. Because if you allow yourself to just sit in a rut and decide that, oh yeah, I feel these things and I'm gonna stop, or I can't, I'm not gonna take action on my dream, or I'm not going to pursue what I want to pursue. Or you just allow it to paralyze you, you're done. You're done. And the reason you're done is because you haven't established that process to get beyond the fear, to get beyond you know, the lack of confidence or the self-confidence that you should have, showing up to your business. So we're humans and everyone's human. You have feelings. And that's what you have to get a grip of. And I know it's hard because you see a lot of people on social media that look like they're just confident every day. Like they just show up and they're confident and they don't have any issues. And, they're lying to you because they're human. And no one shows up 100% without any self esteem, any self confidence, or any other issues ever. Now, what I have talked about a lot this season is different ways to combat those things so that they show up less in your mind. But nevertheless, because you're human, you can't eliminate something 100%. So that's what this season is all about. It's about empowering you with tools. It's about empowering you with, things that you can actually, actionable things you can do to build more confidence in your self-esteem and in your daily life so that you can take action, the necessary action in your business. So this episode is actually titled Five Reasons Coaches and Other Professional Service Providers Struggle to Reach Their Profit Potential. This topic is pretty important because you're in business to make a profit, but there's all sorts of blockers that actually prevent you from doing that because you have it all framed in your mind, whether it's due to confidence issues or due to, a certain fear that you're going to lose a customer, that you tend to do business a certain way. So we're going to break those down in this episode. Okay, the first reason that coaches and other professional service providers don't reach their profit potential is because the messaging doesn't match what you do, and your messaging doesn't resonate with the people you want to serve, which is your target audience. What tends to happen is as whether you're, as in particularly, this is particularly for new entrepreneurs, we tend to have that fear of missing out on clients. And so we'll do a few things as new entrepreneurs. We will list all the 50 services that we, feel we're capable of providing instead of looking at what our superpowers are. And we'll decide to list all 50 on our website. And the reality is, if you're fortunate enough to get someone to your website with that way of thinking, when they arrive, they're instantly going to leave. And here's why. If your goal is to start your business and actually make money in your business, you want someone who has the same, that's what they specialize in, right? Just like me, I'm a business, in addition to being the Boss Experience podcast host, I am a business coach and strategist. And so my area of focus is helping new entrepreneurs get started as professional service providers. So if I also helped new entrepreneurs start brick and mortars, or maybe I do social media management at the same time. Maybe for career professionals, I do resume writing. I also help small businesses in my local community do their marketing. And then I'm also selling, some multi-level marketing products like a beauty, product or some CBD oil. I have all this listed on my website. You can understand why a client may be confused about what exactly do you do, especially a client that has no idea who you are, or a potential client, I should say, who has never seen you. They're only learning about you from maybe what they've seen on social media, or maybe someone referred them to you, and they're trying to figure out, can this person help my problem? It's really super important that your messaging actually connects with the target audience and that you have a target audience. And I've talked about this in previous episodes. You have to know who you're serving, you have to know who you're speaking to. That is the only way your message is going to connect, and you have to have the message that they want to hear. If you have missed my previous episodes where I talk about this at nauseam, go back and listen to those other episodes where I talk about the importance of having a high ticket service, and where I talk about messaging, and you'll find additional content about that. So let's move on. Okay, so the second reason why coaches and professional service providers struggle to reach their profit potential is they don't have a process that takes people from where they are now, which is the reason that they're seeking help anyway, and where they want to be. People have to come in knowing how you're going to help them. Your messaging has to be clear, both, what you put in writing, and what you communicate verbally to people. Like I mentioned in the first reason, or the first thing or the first problem that's blocking you from reaching your profit potential. But also, you have to have that process in place. If people are struggling to figure out, well, what does she actually do and how is she going to do it? Or they ask you, well, what exactly are you going to do? What are you going to provide to me that's going to help me reach my goal? And it has to be, the goal that the client wants. It can't be, a disconnect. So the client has to, or the potential client has to understand how exactly you're going to take them through that process. So if they're asking you, you have to be able to articulate it. And what I see with a lot of entrepreneurs is, not only can they not articulate their process, they can't even articulate what they do. If someone asks them what it is they do, they can't say in a simple statement what it is. They go on and on and on. And at that point, I'm looking at the watch, to see what time it is, because this person can't answer a question. So of course I'm not going to hire them to solve any problems for me, because they are still working through their issues in their business. So it's important for you to make sure that you know exactly what it is you do, so that you can attract the right people that are going to benefit from the process that you develop, and you have to develop a process. It can't be, oh, this is, what I'm going to do, and you're going to lose 50 pounds in the next 90 days. Well, how exactly is that going to happen? Or I'm going to help you make $30,000 a month. And I'm just quoting some of the things I see out there on in social media land. And you have people quoting all these things, and they have no process. If you ask them what the process is, they can't articulate it. So you don't want to be one of those people, and you don't want to do business with one of those people. So the third reason coaches and other professional service providers struggle to reach their profit potential is they think they sell products and services. And you don't sell products and services, and that's not what your potential clients are looking for. Your potential clients are not looking for another coaching program. They are not looking for another one-on-one session. And so what ends up happening is you think you sell products and services, and that's what you're communicating in your messaging on social media and other places you show up online. And what you have to understand is you are among probably, I don't know, thousands, maybe even millions, depending on what you sell, of people selling the same thing. People have to see how you stand out. People have to see how you stand out. They have to know that you can actually solve a problem for them. And they have to know, what it is that you're selling, and it can't be a single product or service. There's something that has to connect them to you. You have to sell them an offer and a whole package, whole package, so that they understand that they're not just getting this service, they're getting this transformation. So a lot of times entrepreneurs sell what they're trying to sell, what they're selling, and they're not successful at it because people can go anywhere to get that service or that product. What they can't get is the transformation that you are offering to them. So it's really important that you create that transformational process for them, and that you are able to articulate. You need to understand that you need to sell an offer, not just a single service and not just a single item. Learn how to package your offer and make it, you know, I know you've heard the term irresistible, but it has to be appealing basically to the people that need it the most, your target audience. You have to be clear on your target audience and know who you're packaging this offer for and what they need. You have to understand what they're struggling with, what their pain points are, so that how you package up your services reflects, what their needs are. And the other thing I want to just say about that is I remember the first time I hired a business coach, and my big mistake is I thought I was selling the product. Or actually, it was a service I had started off selling. And, as any business coach should, they should look at everything you've been doing. They should be looking at your social media. They should be looking at your content so that they can collectively kind of give you that feedback about what you need to change. That's with any good business coach, whether you're doing group coaching, whatever the case may be. I like to provide that one-on-one experience in addition to, you know, providing that group coaching service. I like to look at people's social media so I can give them specific results about what they need to do better, and maybe what the disconnect is and why they're not getting clients. Because if you're just telling me in a group session, I may not be able to make a connection about what I need to change. So I just wanted to put that out there for a sec. So I digress for a little bit, a little moment there, but let me get back. So this first business coach I hired, they looked at my social media because my biggest thing was I'm not getting clients. Nobody's connected with me. Nobody's reaching out to me. I'm not getting clients. I'm a broke entrepreneur. I don't have any money. I don't have any clients. So this coach just said, well, give me all your social media accounts. Let me look at your website. And when they looked at my social media and all of my content and messaging that I had online, the first thing they said is, all I see is products. All I see is, this is what you're saying you sell. That's not that shouldn't be your messaging to people. You need to understand who you're talking to. You need to define your target audience. And you need to make sure that you're delivering value. If the only thing you're doing is posting what you sell and people aren't in the market for that, they're not going to connect with you. You're not offering them anything. And people are always, they're selfish. They're into, what's in it for me? What am I going to gain by following this person? What am I going to gain by watching this reel? What am I going to gain by looking at this website? What is in it for me? And if your answer comes back as nothing, then no one's going to reach out to you. So that was the harsh lesson I learned after I wasted a lot of time and procrastinated about hiring a coach in the first place. Is I learned I had no idea what I was doing. I was selling, products or services. And that coach really helped me to package everything up and to really understand, business in general. And so, as a business coach myself, I make sure I strive to help my clients understand their business so that they can have a business that helps them connect and grow with their clients. Because the one thing you want to do is you want to structure your business in a way that you can be profitable. You want to structure in a way that it's scalable, and you don't want to be trapped in your business. So make sure that you understand that what you're selling is an offer, that you create an entire package for people so that they can be better at whatever it is that they're trying to get better at, and that you actually can truly solve the problem you're saying you're going to solve, and you can articulate that process. So, the fourth reason coaches and other professional service providers struggle to reach their profit potential is you're treating your business like a bargain basement. And that's probably an outdated term, but you're treating your business like this bargain center, this discount center, and you're you're fearing turning down clients. And the first thing I want to tell you is not all money is good money. Not all clients are good clients. And you want to be very specific about who you serve, how you serve them, and how what you help them do so that you can attract the right people. And you need to screen in the people that are going to do well with what you have to offer, right? So when you compromise yourself, with your pricing, and you don't have an understanding of the outcome that you provide and the transformation you can deliver, it's very easy to underprice yourself. And the first time I realized that I had underpriced my services, I actually broke down in tears because I was working with a client who was a challenging client to work with. It was my fault because there were warning signs that this was a challenging client. And I didn't do a few things. Number one is I didn't recognize that there was a warning sign or warning signs because it was plural. And I allowed myself to think that, okay, I can work with anybody. I'm going to give this person what they need when I didn't start a business to be stressed out, like this. So I needed to heed the warning sign. I needed to realize my value and understand the more I was compromising, both in, what I said I was going to provide and what this client was demanding, you know, even though I thought I charged a reasonable price, I allowed that client's demands to diminish the value of what I was actually doing. Because if I'm charging this price for this service, and then the client, after we've already negotiated everything, decides they want additional services or they want this, and I'm trying to be accommodating, I've diminished my value. So you can't diminish your value and expect to be respected as a professional service provider. So the other problem that people tend to get into, and even if you don't diminish your value, is you end up discounting your prices. And I've been in both situations, and it's not a pleasant situation. And you may find yourself crying. You may find yourself, some people have, I've heard of people walking away from projects, which is very unprofessional. You have to, operate as a professional in this business. So, one of the clear things you have to do is you have to price accordingly, and you have to make sure that you have agreements in place to cover what you're going to do for that pricing, and also exit clauses so that if you're not happy with the client, you can depart from that client, and it's clear in your agreement what that departure looks like, what payment looks like up to the point of departure. And, it's really important that you have pricing that helps you feel like a professional, but also helps you to be profitable. So, the other thing I want to tell you to stop doing is stop thinking of yourself as hourly. You're not an hourly employee. You're not in corporate or whatever job you came from anymore, at least while you're operating your business. So it's okay to have a 9 to 5, but when you put on that entrepreneur hat, you need to understand that you are not an hourly employee. And so many entrepreneurs kind of get stuck in that mindset that they need to operate, they need to decide their hourly rate. No, you need to look at what is the problem you're solving, what is the outcome, and what is the transformation, and what is the value of those things, to someone. And that is how you create your pricing. There's more to it, obviously, but that's a starting point. You need to understand the value of the service you provide, and you need to understand the value of how that service leads to whatever outcome. So it's important to understand that you provide an outcome to your client's problem. So you need to look at your services, and you need to look at your pricing in terms of the value that you give this person once they achieve whatever it is that you are delivering to them, so that you can price accordingly. Feeling like you're going to drop your prices because people say it's too much or whatever the case may be, you're not going to be viewed as a professional if every time someone balks at the price, you want to drop the price. Or you agree on one thing, and then you allow the clients to add on to something, add additional service. So you don't want to devalue the services you offer, and you don't want to devalue yourself as a professional. You are a professional. You need to act accordingly. And when you put that entrepreneur hat on, you need to make sure you're operating as an entrepreneur whose goal is to help your clients achieve a transformation or solve a big problem. And you're going to do it in a profitable way. So, the fifth reason coaches and professional service providers struggle to reach their profit potential is they don't have a consistent strategy to get in front of their ideal client. If you don't have a strategy, or even if you do have a strategy, and in the rest of everything else is so screwed up because you can't figure the other stuff out, it's not, you're not going to be able to reach the people you're trying to reach. So you need to have a clearly defined target audience, and you need to understand what is it, how to get in front of them. Where are they at? Where are they hanging out on social media? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on TikTok? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Pinterest? And so you need to, plan that out, and understand how you should diversify your marketing plan. So when you think about your marketing, people confuse it as selling. And marketing is how people become aware of your product or service, or aware of you in terms of your business, what your offer is. And it's through this awareness that you lead them to purchase. So when you directly sell them and you're just holding up a product and all of that, that it really doesn't work for people. So you have to connect the value with your offer. And so if you don't have a clear marketing plan and strategy that can effectively reach the very people you want to reach, you're going to struggle. You have to have all these other things in place because if you don't know who you're targeting, you haven't refined your messaging, and you don't do the other things I've mentioned in this episode, it doesn't matter how good your marketing is, you're not going to reach those people. It's going to be forever disconnected. So it's really important once you have all these other things in place that you sit down and you think about, now, what is my strategy? And the thing I just want to caution you about too is, a lot of people will tell you to go all in on Facebook or go all in on Facebook ads or go all in on Instagram. So, depending on what moment you're watching social media, you get a lot of information fed to you about what that means to go all in, right? So, next thing you know, you're spending a lot of time on one platform. And you have to keep in mind when I talk about consistently getting in front of your target audience and your ideal client, it's not sitting on social media. Social media cannot be your only resource or your only source, so to speak, to get in front of your target audience. You have to have a process and a strategy that leads people, that attracts people from one area, which is social media or any other, you can even have offline areas that you connect with people to actually get them so you can keep in contact with them, because you don't want one-off experiences with people. You want to always structure your business and structure everything that you do in a way that allows you to continuously engage with people. Because if people have purchased from you once, guess what? They'll purchase from you again as long as you made them happy with that purchase. So you have to remember that. And so, make sure that your marketing is all inclusive of everything you need to do. It's not just being on one platform, because you have to remember, if that platform goes down, if one of those platforms decide that they want to disable your account, which they do on a regular basis for no reason at all, in some cases, or unfairly, because I think anytime, unless you're making like an egregious mistake, you should always have an opportunity to correct the mistake. And so a lot of these social media companies like Instagram, Facebook, which Instagram is owned by Facebook, and then you have like Twitter or whatever. I don't hear it so much happening with Twitter, but I definitely hear a lot of people, tend to lose their accounts, and they have to go through a process to get their account, reestablished, or they never get it established at all. And if you're only relying on one platform to get your clients and one method to get your clients, you're going to be out of business if something goes wrong, if your account gets deactivated, or if you're doing only Facebook advertising and your ad account gets deactivated, which happens too because violated some unnamed community standard. So I say all of that to say, make sure that you have a comprehensive marketing plan that gets you in front of your ideal client, not just online, but offline too. So, with that being said, if you're always struggling and you're always, you know, behind the eight ball in terms of what you need to do in your business, it's hard, it's hard on you confidence wise. It's hard to show up. It's hard to be happy about what you're doing. And it's very easy to beat yourself up. It's very easy to have that imposter syndrome seek in. It's very easy to make quitting an option because you feel defeated. Understand that marketing and understanding that your road to profitability in your business isn't just one thing. You have to make sure that everything is in place so that, like I mentioned, you don't want to have one area and have this fabulous marketing plan and don't know who you're marketing to. Makes no sense. So you have to have everything in place. And it's important that you talk to someone, whether you choose me as your coach or someone else. It's important that you talk to someone about how to get these pieces in order so that you are not wasting your time and you're not wasting your money only to find yourself in the same place every year. That's a wrap for this episode. I'm so happy you tuned in. And don't forget to leave me a review and subscribe if you found value in what I had to say in this episode. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you'll tune in next episode. Take care.